Happy Motivational Monday, everybody. Thank you for joining Coach in the City on this marvelous Monday evening. Well, I'm really excited for a couple of reasons. Number one, the husband and I have absolutely no children in the house. So we're really taking this time to reconnect and like catch up, relax, and all that other good stuff that married couples get to do when no kids are in the house. Wink, wink, right? So the subject for today was or is, have you met yourself lately? And this subject came to me. Of course, I get all these great ideas while I'm at the gym, and just thinking like, have we met ourselves? Have we met ourselves lately? And sometimes, unfortunately, we have met and outdated, or we're operating, or we're acting. We're not acting as if we're the new us. Does that make sense? It probably don't, but I'm gonna get to it, right? So, in saying how well have you met yourself lately? Um, let's first talk about like physically. How do you show up? Like really, how do you show up anywhere? So we're going to talk about your physical appearance. Whether it's just right quick, running to the store, 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm just going to the Waffle House. This is still how you're showing up. Whether people know you or not, you know how you look. And not saying you have to be perfect, but I feel that everybody should care because you have to care about you. Ultimately, this is your life. This is no one else's life. This is your life. So if you don't care enough to put forth your best, then y'all really need to connect me for some life coaching because there's more than life than just the moment that we're operating in. So we're going to talk about like, how do you show up? So that's the physical part. Let's talk about how do you show up mentally. And in saying that, it's like when you go into a situation, are you always the doom and gloom? And this is your internal self check, but how do you show up mentally? Are you the person that it's always them, it's never you? It's always something. It is always something. Like, is that you? Mentally, like, do you show up prepared? Do you share up taking accountability or being responsible for yourself? How do you show up mentally into any situation? Are you preoccupied? Are you dragging the baggage from 94, 97, 98, 82? What are you carrying? It really makes me think of Erykah Badu's song Bag Lady. But, it's just not for women. This is for men because men carry baggage too. Trust me, men carry baggage. So it could be a bag man, whatever you want to call himself, but it's just not women. But what do you, when you show up mentally, what are you bringing with you? And then emotionally. So, and when I say emotion, I'm talking about when you show up in these conversations, when you show up, heck, on the internet, when you show up in people's comments. How are you showing up? Are you showing up bitter? And sometimes people think, oh, like maybe that's my walk, so I'm not going to be judgy. But, being petty and messy is not a good way to live. I just think it's a defense mechanism. That's just me. But how, if you always got a slick mouth, like you're showing up, like that's how you're showing up emotionally, like always defensive. So my thing is, let's talk about it. because a lot of times we're quick to say, this person don't know me. But if I'm judging you or I'm reacting to how you show up, I have some friends on Facebook. The first sentence, I have about 4 friends. I promise you, I don't have to get to the first full sentence. I know who has written the post. I have one friend, I could just tell by the angle of the camera who it is, just by the picture they take. I have another friend that, you know, always male bashing. I'm just being honest. I don't even have to look at who wrote it. If it's anything of negative, if it's anything that could be a negative towards the man, I know who it is. And I'm sorry, it's not a friend. It's a friend of a friend, but sometimes I still come across it sometimes, and it never surprises me. So how are we upset when we legitimately show up? This is how we show up, and we get mad. We really get mad at people when they outwardly judge, even though they were like, oh, you judge me, you don't even know me. Well, shit. 9 times out of 10, you talking about how big your booty is. You got your chest, is all out. Like you let it be known whatever your plight is or whatever you want the world to know or see. That's what you're putting out there. So I'm going to move it because I'm not even really trying to pick up the bad piece about it. But check back, because sometimes, how we used to show up is how we no longer show up, because we have grown. So if you've changed and just check in with yourself. Are you still carrying yourself? Are you still walking around with your head down because of some shameful things or things you wanted to do differently in the past? That's just a slight question, but let's just go back to, how are you showing up? Are you, and even more so, how do you show up when it's not in your favor? Are you, the Bible, let's say Bible quoting or scripture quoting Christian, while things are good, but soon as your faith is tested, you become a cussing Christian? Or, how do you show up when your boss check you for being late for work? Are you professional then? Or how do you show up when they tired of hearing the story, well, my kid's sick? Because everybody's playing their role in this life. Are you the person, well, I'm gonna quit tomorrow because no, come on. And so as I was writing down my notes, and I was actually talking to my husband, he's like my pre-motivational Monday conversation. And he's always nearby. I was telling him, we've been to that one place, and the person was such a breath of fresh air. Just pleasant, just all around. You'd be like, man, and then you realize that that's them. Let's say you go to the bank and it's that one teller that is just so amazing, or your gas station clerk, or whoever you interact, but it's always that one person that's really a breath of fresh air. So remember that visual. But then we've also ran into that person that we're legit thinking, honey, you filled out the job application. You accepted the job. Why are you tripping? Like, it's no need to be ugly. But this is how people are. This is how we're showing up. different situations. Um, this is how we're showing up. And I think we should every now and then go back and revisit it, revisit who we are. Sometimes we show up bitter and we don't know it, or you don't think it is, because you got like this hype squad that's still telling you it ain't your fault, and your squad ain't telling you you need to grow from it. You need to move on from it. Um, so just think about, like, in every aspect of your life, how are you showing up? How are you showing up mentally, physically? Heck, how are you showing up financially in your own life? Are you financially sabotaging yourself because you are a now person? You know, like, you want it now. You're not worried about tomorrow. You're not worried about the bill you have to do tomorrow. Like, have you met yourself lately? And to be honest, even in I was doing my self check. Let me tell you who I just met. What I just met. I just met my natural hair. January 2020. As y'all know, I've been in the Army for years, and for me, it was just easy to wear weave or wear braids. So January, I think it was like more like December, but January 2020, I had about 3 good packs of bundle. Okay, this was some, like, this hair cost like $400 something. Just bought it, and I was like, you know what? I need to know me. I need to know my hair. And here I am, 40 years old, not really knowing if I'm a 4A, 4B, 4C hair. I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't know the coil type. I didn't know what worked in my hair. So that's like my truth. So that's what I decided to do. Like, for the past almost year and a half, I have been getting to know my hair. Good, bad, and different. I've tried so many products, and I'm still going to get it. My husband was asking me, he said, have you thought about putting your hair in locks? I said, no, I like my hair. Like, I legit, like, love my hair now. I really have nice hair. And I don't know, it's mine. Like, I love it. I kept it braided up or twisted up for over 20 years. So that's one of the things. I had to get to know my hair. I had to get out of society's, or um viewpoint of, we got to have long hair, it has to be straight, all of this BS that Lord knows I fell into, being in the Army, just keeping a straight back so it didn't create an unkept appearance, is what the regulations stated. So that's what I had to do. Like, I had to reintroduce myself to myself. I had to reintroduce myself to my own voice, like speaking up for myself. I had to reintroduce myself to um, my boundaries, my left and my right limits. I had to reintroduce myself to the things that I don't like, the things I don't tolerate. And I also had to find out what I did like. Not what, as a collective unit, or team, but what Nancy actually likes. So that just really just continues to make me dig deeper into. I have a comment here. Oh, of course, it's Jennifer. True, for years after I lost weight, I still saw my bigger 347-pound self versus the smaller version. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, and sometimes it's not even us. Sometimes it is us, sometimes it's not us, right? But we allow people to oh, well, the old Nancy would have, or remember when we were back in Fort Hood, we did this. Well, I'm not her no more. I've outgrown that. I've outgrown that season. And it's not because I'm embarrassed or ashamed of any of my life. My life's pretty much an open book. But, um, sometimes you gotta wonder a person's why. Like, why, sometimes why do you, sometimes, like, why do you remind me of certain things? Is it an insecure moment of yours and you think I'm in, or if I've moved beyond where you are, but you remember when we were both there together? You know, I don't know. I don't know. But also, my question in saying, when I said, have you met yourself lately? Have you met your goals? Have you met your dreams, your desires? Have you met your what's next? These are the questions, because we speak of wanting, or this is what I'm doing, but like, have you really, like, and when you show up to meet your goals or to address your goals, are you showing up with optimism, or are you showing up as a pessimist? Because that stuff's important. And don't think because, like, your dream or your goal, you don't think because it's not a physical person, but the universe, um, but the universe picks up that energy. Can you imagine, like, me saying I want to be a life coach, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I don't know if I'm gonna be successful. Who the heck am I gonna coach like that? If I don't believe in myself, how am I supposed to encourage you guys or my clients to be the best themselves? So we have to make sure we're showing up our best self in life, because that's what the universe picks up. If you're one of those, well, I return the same energy. Like, wow, that's a problem for me. It's just it's a problem for Nancy, okay? Because I refuse to, after knowing, how I say, when you know better, you do better. I know better, and it's not me to be low vibrational. I don't even care if it's for a moment, because guess what? That other person has won. I refuse to lower my standards or my vibration for anyone, because I've done it before and it didn't work out for me, and I don't like the way it feels, because I know better. There's no reason, there's no reason to do it. And I just feel part of, they say, as long as God wakes us up in the morning, we still have purpose. So I know my purpose is not to be low vibrational. My purpose is not to be petty. My purpose is not to be miserable. That doesn't mean bad things don't happen to me. Let me not even say that messed up stuff don't happen to me, because it does. But it's how when these bad things happen to me, it's how I respond. We got this react versus respond. I've talked about it before. Maybe I'll do it again later on this month. But it's how I choose to respond. And I write my own narrative. That's the thing. This book of Nancy, I am constantly writing it. Jennifer said, if I feel down, I stay offline, so I'm not spreading or bringing people down. Yeah, and I 100% get that. I know a lot of people say, well, I'm just going to be myself and put my truth out there. I think you should be selective. I don't feel, I would never put my business I wouldn't put my business on social media. That's just not how I choose to deal with it. I don't keep it within. I will tell you that. I do have people that I confide in, and but I just choose not to put it on social media because it's none of their business. Let me see what else we got here. Oh yeah, the energy, man. I'm telling you, I done unfollowed so many people. I promise you, because we're putting this. It's this world pulls on us, knowing and unknowing. I think I told you I really stopped watching the TV. I really stopped watching news. Like my Audible collection is friggin' amazing. If it's not like uplifting or motivational, rarely will you see me watch it. I'm sorry, except for like The Shy. I watch The Shy. Um, but I really try to, and being my best self. I just know that I had to change a whole lot of things. I just had to change a whole lot of things. So I challenge everyone to like reintroduce yourself to yourself. Like not the pretty version. You know, ask those, and if you don't think you could do an honest assessment, ask a few close people. Um, ask a few close people um, to tell you your strengths and tell you your weakness. Tell them how you show up. You know, um, because you might not even realize. And I can honestly say, sometimes we may feel down, like we've been down so long that you don't even realize that, or you may feel you don't have more to give. So just ask your person, ask that confidant, um, you know, what good do you see in me? Not that you need validation for anybody else, but when you're doing your own self-assessment, like just impulsively, like how do you show up? If the phone rang and you needed to run out the house, how are you going out of? If somebody calls, if somebody call you and say, so and so says something about you, what are you going to say? Are you going to go back and forth? Are you going to argue? Or are you going to get indignant? Because whether you show up like on social media, be it how you show up, even on text, it's still how you showing up. So let's not get it kind of twisted with we're showing up like physically in person. It's our words, it's our intentions, it's all of that stuff. It's our body. It's even like our body movement, our body motion. How do you show up for yourself? Are you feeding yourself correctly? Are you allowing yourself to get the sleep that you need? Are you allowing yourself, to heal? How are you showing up for yourself? Just yourself. Forget the world. We'll get to that later, but first, just do the quick assessment and see how you're showing up for yourself. Like, because you can look at yourself and see how you're showing up for yourself. You already know what you're doing. As my spiritual coach Kelly said, why are we faking for God? Like we faking hard, like our stuff is together and all this other stuff. Nah, that's the only person that for real can help you. That is the only person on this world that can make what we think turn the impossible to possible. So do your assessment. If you want to be better, you can be. If you choose to be bitter, you only got one life. You can't die and come back. So live the best life that you can. Give, because all of us have something to give to the world. I see so many, I promise you, I see so many motivating posts from people, and I'm like, man, like they're really living in their purpose. Some people are really living in their purpose, and then you have other folks that feel that You know, they don't have nothing to give. I just challenge you to look at it because you're still here. You know, you're still here. Every day you wake up, and if you're not feeling, if you're not motivated, if you're not feeling worthy, if there's some things you could do better, if you're feeling unfulfilled, if you're stuck in a job, man, like talk to somebody. Talk to somebody because life is way better. Life can hell, my life is good and I know my life could be even better. How about that? I have a friggin' amazing, I have a pretty good life. And that's not to brag, but my life is pretty good. But I know it could be even better. So I know that for me, every day is like refined gold that they talk about in the Bible. You know, the gold is pure, but every now and then it's some debris that boils up top. So guess what? You scrape it off and you start the process. So for me, I'm a pretty good life coach. And my next step is to be a pretty damn good life coach, then to be a effing great life coach. Like all of that. All of it. You know, and sometimes in our profession, we're like, I'm at the pinnacle. No, you're not. There's always greater. There's not, if even not, well, let me say that, because there are some workaholics. So I'm not saying that you just keep on, tilling at it until, because there's always something to do. No, I do believe in taking breaks. But we, in our life, there's always something greater. There's always, we are not here for ourselves. So if you feel that you are at the pinnacle, then maybe now the time is for you to turn around and start mentoring others to get to where you are. Just an idea. But that's it. Like closing and saying, have you met yourself lately? Because you're not who you used to be, and who you used to be is not who you are now. So, it might be for the good, it might be for the bad. I don't know. But just take the assessment. Take an assessment of yourself and see what it is that you could do better. Ask yourself, how are you showing up? Because it's on Facebook, and I'll just say on Facebook, you could go back in and see your last couple of comments. You could see your last post. Just look at what you're putting out there. Because, like, damn the people on Facebook, this is stuff you're putting out to the universe. This is the stuff you're putting out to the universe. And if this is what you want the universe to honor, is it what you want the universe to honor? What you're putting out there, do you want the universe to honor that? Just a question. Because the universe is always listening. Even when everybody go to bed and go on to their own thing, the universe is always listening and they're watching. So what are you putting out? Because the universe gives what we put out. So if you wonder why you getting some of the stuff that you got, look what you're putting out. So I hope y'all have an amazing week. It's just me and my husband tonight. Oh, actually for the next couple of days. So we're going to
do what married folks do.
Good night, you guys. We actually have some wine. Look at me doing a wine down Wednesday on a Monday, but that's the good life. So y'all have a good one, and I'll be in touch soon. Thank you.